I've got a few different sites for us to look at, guys, starting with this image. If you've seen the series of 2 videos I made on the Viking ships, where mainstream archaeology tell you that they were dragging stones around and making these stone ships to then burn their leaders in, okay, in some crematorium ritual. Well, I proved down they were petrified wooden planks of a ship. Yes, well, recently I made a video in Sardinia, didn't I? This is an extra image I found just yesterday, which is also the same. Can't tell exactly what type of stone it is, even though it looks black in this image, but it is indeed part of a ship, the ribbon section. And in fact, if you look at the bottom, you can see the beam that runs all the way through this. It's all connected together. It's the only one I've got of this area here. I wish I had more of it. Half of these images I've also found yesterday when I found that one. The rest have just been picking up as I go through the week. Some of the sites we've seen before here, but they are from different angles at least. This one also must be petrified. Where I've placed the arrows, we can see the little arch where the beaming also connected, because look, these roof pieces on this, they're calling megalithic, and they've been dragging and lifting these on these stone pillars, right? Well, you would not be building a wall. If you look at the walls, they're all in bits and pieces and crumbling away. You wouldn't be placing weights like that on a wall, would you? It'd be a death trap. It looks like it all also connected together in the same way the ship piece I've just shown you. Look, I'm going to start showing you sites that look like they've been flooded, hit with superheated ash, and all we're looking at is an imprint of whatever materials that this stuff was built from. Although, in saying that, you know my feelings on this by now. When we're looking at soft material, soft sand like this, it's either saturated petrified wood. Just the other day I was walking through town with our lass, and there was a tree dead in the town centre, and I called her over. I said, have you seen this? And it was all rotting inside. It was still sprouting leaves, funny enough, but the inside of it was just completely sand almost. God knows how it was still alive. So yes, some of this stuff can be concrete where all the lime has leached out and would have formed a hard surface on the ground. But in this case, with buildings like this, I think they were mainly built from wood. Whether or not they had mud or clay smothered on them, you know, we will never know, but that's what I think I'm looking at here. That particular site there I've shown you before about 4 years ago when I used to record the screen. This here though I found at the same time, and it is the same area. If you look at the roof, you can see how this was built. The imprints of the beaming and the lats. The floorboarding on the ground is what I think that is. Now maybe when this went underwater for a long period, all the floor beaming ended up working its way loose. You know, in the water, wood floats. As it rotted, it eventually worked its way loose, and all these sediments settled under it, because it doesn't appear to be that high, does this roof from here? Probably about 5 feet, so that's what I think I'm looking at there. This I thought at one time almost looked like oxidized metal, still could be. So kind of leaving that area now, I just want to look at this with you now. Just because we see a hole here does not always mean that it's some door or a window. In fact, what we're looking at here is just the tippy top of some type of building. It's the roof. If you look straight in front of it, in the middle of the screen, you can see what appears to be some type of bar or a wooden beam that runs horizontal across the screen. The jutting out parts that's coming towards you, they are the cross beams, you know, what helps hold the roof up, because, and it's all just turned to solidified mess of mud and ash. Look, I'm sick to death of YouTube recommending videos to me of stuff that I was proving wrong before I even opened this channel 5 years ago. I'm sick of seeing videos recommended about vitrification of rock. You can't vitrify any type of rock apart from basalt. Yeah, you might be able to remelt basalt. I'm not getting into it again. How many times do I have to prove that shite? Like, if you look at this site here, this what they call a tomb, you look at the stairs. Now, obviously, some mud or ash has been running down here as it's got wet and it's solidified again. You're not looking at vitrification, it's calcification of minerals and solidifying. That's what you're looking at. And it's the whole site has been covered over in mud. It's not been carved out of the ground as a tomb. All this stuff I'm going to show you now is just imprints of technological implements. I happened to land on this, and it wasn't the only one as well. This is actually from a computer game. If you can't tell that without being told, then you need to start inspecting this stuff a lot closer. Now, these items here, this one here, look, I used to put this forth as being real myself long before I opened this channel, when I used to follow all the usual crowd and I went into Ancient Aliens. This is meant to be some guy sat in some type of rocket in a spacesuit, right? I forgot where it was found, but this is also obviously fake because space is crappy. Nobody goes anywhere. Suits wouldn't work in a vacuum if a vacuum was real, so you've got two choices: either this is completely fake and has been made in recent times, or this is something for going underwater or across the surface and it's ancient. I don't care which, I just know that it's not for going out into what they call space. Now, when I landed on this here, look, they present this as being one solid piece of rock that the ancients have somehow carved. Well, the problem with that is, if you notice the black section, it joins into what looks like granite perfectly. They're saying it's all one piece. So if it's all one piece, how can you have two different pieces of stone like that? It's not been polished, one's black and one's something else. I will get into. It's obviously fake stone, and another reason how we know that is that you can see that he's got his hand inside his mouth. All these dragons, for some reason, have got some type of huge ball bearing made out of stone inside the mouth. So do you think that that was carved also? Or was it placed in there as these were being made out of some type of fake stone, right? Because these three pillars here, well, there's only two in fact, are from Baalbek, and the one on the left, it's my belief that this has been layered in some type of fake granite substance, like a forked granite spray, enamel type substance. And as they were smoothing it off, somebody forgot to smooth the back section off perfectly, because Brian Forrester and people like that think that they dragged their pillar into this area and then they smoothed it off as it was in place, which is completely backward. Right. The one on the right is the same piece as the bottom. Now that was carved from wood and it's petrified into what you're looking at now. If you notice just how much distance that there is between each saw mark. Well, if you did that in any type of stone whatsoever, I don't care what saws that you was using, it would snap from the vibration, it would break any type of stone. This was once wood.